Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to continue from task 4 of this project, see malloc and free. So this task here says we should write a function that frees a two-dimensional grid previously created by your alloc grid function. That is, this function here we created, we are going to create a function here that is going to free the two-dimensional array. Alright, so this is the prototype here. As you can see, this is what int, and it's a double pointer, right, called grid. So this here is going to point to what? To the array we created, while this is going to define the height of the array. Okay, so note that we will compile with your alloc grid.c file, so make sure it compiles. So it means that if this task here, that is your task 3, if it doesn't work, then you'll not get your task 4 to work as well. Okay, that's just indirectly what this is saying. So let's open the file first. Copy. Sorry. Ooh, am I zooming? This task 4, right? Alright, so here I'll just say vi paste. So as you can see here, I already have my Betty documented. So if you can remember, in the previous task we made two allocations, right? The first allocation is going to allocate memory for us to store the rows, right? While the second allocation is going to allocate memory for us to store the columns, isn't it? So it means we are going to free these two allocations we made. So the first allocation we need to free is that of the columns, right? Because it is the last allocation we made, right? So we need to free it first, and then we can free the what? The first allocation. Let me just try to explain this here. Assuming this is the memory that was allocated for us for the first allocation, right? This contains the rows, right? This contains the rows here, right? And the next allocation is what? Is that of the columns. Assuming this is the allocation for the columns. Let me just do something like this for the columns here, right? So it means the first thing I need to do, I need to free this one first. If I free this one, I will be left with what? I will be left with just this here, right? I will be left with what? With just this memory now, isn't it? So I'll be left with this. So now I can free this later on as well. So I have a free pool of memory now. All of them will be free, right? So that's what I need to do first. So for me to free the second allocation, which is that of the columns, I need to use a loop, because I used a loop to create the allocation. If you can remember, please refer to the previous video. You understand what I'm trying to say here. So I will just say int I. I'm going to use this for the loop. I will say for I equals to 0, and what should be the condition? I less than height. That was the exact condition I used to create the allocation, right? Then I will say I plus plus. So what should happen here? For each iteration, I want to free that particular memory. So I'll just say free. Inside this bracket here, this grid here is pointing to the array in which we created in the previous task. Do you get it? So I'll just say free grid here in this case, because it is represented with grid. So I'll just say free grid, and then I'll pass in what? Index I. So this is going to free all the memory allocated for what? For the columns. So it will loop over each row, and it will free all the memory allocated for that particular row. So now what we have left is this whole memory. So now we need to free it as well, right? We need to free it. So all I need to do here in this case, I will just say free, free, and what should be the name? The name is going to be grid in this case, right? So here I'm freeing what? The indexes of grid, right? And this indexes consist of what? Of the rows and columns. And this indexes consist of what? Of the rows and columns. So now I need to free the grid entirely itself. So there is no space for what? For the row now, right? So that's what I need to do. So this is simply how the function is supposed to look like. So let's run Betty on this first. So Betty for free this. Yeah, so as you can see, Betty is happy. So let's create the test file. Let's see. Oh, all right, this is task what? Task 4, right? So vi for main.c, right? All right, so paste. All right, so let's compile the program. So when you look at the command here, it's including even the previous file we created, which is 3alloc grid.c, right? So it's going to compile including that file. So paste this. Let's run it. So as you can see, it has been compiled. So let's run the compiled file and let's see the output. So as you can see, we are getting the exact same output here, write the exact same output. But that's not our concern. Our concern is to check if the memories have been freed. So that's where we used valgrind, right? We use valgrind to test if all the memories allocated have been freed. So let's run valgrind on this file. So let's copy this and paste valgrind and then the file name or the program name. So press enter. So as you can see here, it says I need to install valgrind. This is because I'm working on my Vagrant. I don't have it installed. So let's install this. Okay, so how do we install valgrind? It's simply sudo apt get install valgrind. Okay, so let's install valgrind. Type yes or y. Okay, so let's wait a while for it to complete. So by looking at this, I think my valgrind has been installed. So let me clear this and let's run the command again. So valgrind-f. So as you can see, valgrind is working now. So it means it has been installed successfully. So let's see. As you can see, it says all heap blocks were freed. No leaks are possible. So it means all the allocations we made have been freed. So look at this. It says total heap usage. Why are we seeing heap usage? Because all memories allocated to us by malloc is from the heap. Right, so here when you look at this, it says 5 allocations have been made and 5 have been freed. Right, so all allocations we made have been freed. That's why we are saying all heaps block were freed and no leaks are possible. Okay, so it means that our function is working the way it's supposed to work. So let's look at their own. As you can see, all blocks were freed, no leaks are possible. Okay, so this is simply how to do this. So don't forget to add, commit and push to your GitHub, and then you can run your checks. So you're going to stop here. In the next video, we are going to continue from task 5 of this project. So thank you very much till we meet in our next session.